I'm going to change mics.
Okay, we should be live again now.
Let me know when you're done showing. Let me know when you're done show and telling, Charles. I got a couple things to show too, but you finish first.
I'll go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. The other ones I really can't get to yet. Maybe some other time I'll get them. Okay, but go ahead.
Hey, okay. Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, show us your cutoff that you got on your combat planes. You know, if something happens, they break loose, that they shut your engine down. Do you have that on your planes?
The shutoffs for the combat planes?
In case, you know, it breaks loose?
Yeah, yes, I'll have to dig one out, but I can absolutely do that. Yes.
I didn't know they had anything like that.
Yeah, I'll get one and show it to you. I'm glad Bill's here. Bill just joined us. I was hoping he'd come on so he could see this. Let me get my screen big here. How do I do that? All right. So this is the
Quaker.
What was a Quaker? Because it's modern laser cut construction. This was on Facebook Marketplace up in Westland, about 2 miles from my mom's house. I stumbled across it a couple weeks ago, and I bought it from the guy. Electric. It had a motor, ESC, and both those. $6 for it. And I got home today, and I threw a battery and a receiver in it. And I've already put 2 flights on it in the front yard, flying it out in front of the house. It's got a 54-inch wingspan. Maybe one of you guys knows what it is. Bill might know, or Tom, you might know by looking at it. But, you know, it's that Quaker look. It's that old-time street fight look.
Nice.
That was a good score for $60. Hell, there's probably $40 worth of Ultra Code on it. You know.
Uh-huh.
Well, so that's one of the things I picked up.
How much does it weigh?
You know, I haven't put it on a scale, Tom. I haven't put it on a scale. I mean,
it looks pretty light.
I can. Sam, get the scale. Yeah. Then, yeah, it is. It is. Like I said, I flew it out in the front yard here as soon as I got home, man. I didn't. He didn't know if the ESC worked. So a guy bought out an estate, and he had all kinds of airplanes, big gassers, electrics, all kinds of stuff. And I just got one. There was 2 more that I would have liked to have purchased, but I didn't have room to get them home. And he said, I don't know anything about it because it was an estate buy. He said, I don't know if the ESC is good. I don't know if the servos are good. I put a Fly Sky receiver in it, plugged a battery into it, and was flying it in like 10 minutes. So it all worked pretty decently. I was pretty happy with it for $60. You can't build them for $60 with a motor and ESC, you know. So then we picked up. I don't know. Let me see if we can plug here. The combat planes from Ron Colombo, some old slows, and a couple of old fasts down there. I think we ended up with like 10 combat planes. But the other thing that he gifted to Sam, and he just bought this. Ron came to Huntersville and a Sonny Wills airplane. It was for sale last October on the table out there. It's an Oriental, 55-inch span.
Yeah.
I think Ron gave $80 or maybe $100. He was going to fly a little stunt, but then he changed his mind. He's a combat guy. He's not really a stunt guy. He changed his mind, and he threw it in the truck with the rest of the stuff. And I got it home and put an LA-46, Tom Dixon LA.
Oh, nice.
LA-46 in it. That should be enough to do the pattern. It was at 38 ounces without the motor. I haven't weighed it yet, but I'll weigh it when Sam brings the scale out here. Samuel, go get the scale. We'll see what it weighs with the motor. It feels a little heavy to me. What's an LA-46 weigh? Are they 8 ounces, 9 ounces?
I don't remember.
Anybody know? I think so.
I thought they were closer to 6.
I think
I
they're
think
more.
46. No, it's more than 6. I know that.
Okay, well, we'll find out here in a second.
I think if the plane is in a 45 ounces or so, should be fine.
Oh, I got to get on something hard here. Let me try this again. All right. So, what's that? 48 ounces.
That's very good weight.
48 ounces with the motor.
Wow.
That's not bad. That's good.
It's a little heavy, I think. A little bit. It's a few ounces. It should be okay.
Yeah, we'll fly just fine.
I'm going to weigh this for Tom real quick. 1 times 5. 21 ounces, Tom, on this one. Without
No battery.
battery. Without the battery. 21 ounces. No battery.
Hey,
No battery. And the battery I'm running is just under 4. So 25 ounces all up. Is that good? I don't know. Is that
yeah, that's good.
I think that's pretty good.
good for an RC plane? 25 ounces?
Yep.
Well, do you see that? We got the Joker. The Joker's flying it.
Oh, very cool.
What the?
And the last thing that I'm most happiest about with my trip is Ronnie. I've been watching Sparky's videos, and he always sands on cushions, like he's got old couch cushions and stuff like that for sanding his airplane so you don't screw them up when you got them covered and all that. Ronnie gave me a memory foam match that he had out in his garage. So now I got a big piece of foam to work on my airplanes on when they're in the finish stages or whatever. I can put that down and not put screwdrivers or usually the drill is sitting on the workbench and you move the wing and you hit the drill bit or something like that. That's what I do anyway all the time. And then the other good thing about it is I've got foam for wrapping battery packs and receivers for RC planes for the rest of my life. Because I don't know if any of you guys have ever bought a piece of foam rubber from the hobby shop, but man, that stuff's like gold. Because they charge like $15 for a sheet of foam. That good. So that was a good score, hauling the memory foam mattress back. And then there's the last. That's about 1/4 of the fireworks that we bought for our show.
Wow.
That's it.
That's just both garages. So we got about that's $1,400 worth of fireworks for 4th of July, and there'll be another 500 probably brought by my friends. So we should have a pretty good show this year. That's all I got. That's it. I'm going to turn my mic off and start working on RC cars.
That's pretty awesome.
I think we got most of it. I was trying to reset the stream.
Getting myself busy polishing those molds. So I'm here with you guys.
Hey, Mike, is that a Oriental kit build, you think?
I took pictures. Said he could look up the AMA number. I'm pretty sure it was Sonny Williams' airplane, or Sonny was selling a bunch of stuff for someone, and he thought it might be a Tom Morris airplane and a foam wing. But I looked inside the lead-out guide. It's not. It's built up. And to me, it looks bigger than the Oriental Arfs that Brodak sells. Because I've seen it. It's been a while
Okay.
since I've seen one. And I don't know what
Oh, yeah.
the wingspan is on the Brodak Oriental Arf, but this has this is 55-inch wing. And it's to me than the
Okay.
ones that come from Brodak. So I think it's
Right.
built. It still may be a Tom Morris kit, but I don't think it's a Brodak kit. I really don't.
Yeah,
'Cause it just looks bigger.
Yeah, the Oriental Plus. That might be an Oriental Plus you're holding right there.
That's what I was thinking. I'm going to look up on the Brodak website and see what they list the Oriental Arf and their Oriental kits at. Because this is bigger, I think, than any Oriental I've ever seen. And I do know that there is something called an Oriental Plus.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
It could have been scratch built. I don't know the history on it. So that being said, even at 48 ounces with the bigger wingspan is probably. I just thought 48 ounces. That's a lot for an machine because they're. I'm going to click off here and look on the Brodak website and see what I can find out.
Okay.
Bill, did you get rain in Winona?
Well, y'all guys go ahead.
Yeah, yesterday it rained all day.
Yeah, here too.
We've had great
Hey,
weather
Charles,
here
can
the
you
past
see
couple
the
of days.
screen?
What'd you say?
Hey, I was asking Charles if he could see the screen because I can't see his picture up here.
Yeah, I don't know why my picture's not showing, but I see the screen.
Oh, there's your picture.
And
Now
I see you. And I see you,
David.
Jeff. How you doing?
Good. Guys, I'm gonna go out to my shop and I'm gonna grab my Olympic, and I wanted to show it to you and put it on the scale and get your opinion
All right.
on it.
Maybe this show
Alrighty.
will go better than the last one did. I think I got it working again now. We were offline for a good
All
while.
right. Yeah, I'm up to 3 Olympics now, Jeff.
Oh, here comes Lynn. Where's John Miller?
No, he'll be along soon, I think. Or he'll be along directly, as sometimes we say down here in the South. I'm not sure what that means. My mom used to say that. Mom, where's Daddy? He'll be home directly. Has anybody in the North ever heard that?
I used to hear
Yes,
it
my
all the time.
grandparents used to say it all the time.
Really? How about britches? When my grandparents always referred to your pants as your britches, and now that I'm over 60 significantly, I find myself saying britches, and I'm wondering if when you cross a certain age, britches just automatically appears in your vocabulary.
That's funny. Well, I'm 62 and I haven't said a word about britches yet.
You hadn't? Well, I'm 64, so maybe when you hit 64, you'll wake up one morning and say, "Need me a pair of britches."
Yeah, I hope I can say where are my britches in the morning. That'd be great.
They'll be out from yesterday. They'll be here directly.
Charles?
Yeah.
Charles?
Yeah, can you hear me?
5 inches, 550 squares. This is a full-on Oriental. It's not an Oriental Plus. I just remember them being smaller than this. But like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen one.
Yeah, I've never seen an Oriental Plus.
It's a regular Oriental.
Wow. Yeah, I have an Oriental too.
I mean, there's no telling if I don't know if it's a Brodak kit or somebody else made an Oriental kit for a while, or somebody built this? I don't. I guess there's no way really to find out, is there? Other than contact the
think
guy
so.
that built it and ask him what it was. Yeah. So yeah, full on Oriental.
Wow.
Where'd you
Well,
get
there
it?
is another way to find out, Mike, but you don't want to do that.
What's
When you
that?
crash it,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to do that
Well,
one.
Yeah. Oh, is Lynn here?
There's a distinct that can happen. It is
Yeah,
Sam's
I'm here,
airplane.
Charles,
so.
and I did get
it
your
does
message.
happen once in a blue moon.
Mhm.
Unfortunately.
What's the bad news? Now
Exciting. I'll be right back.
gotta share it, man.
So, Lynn, I think you're the windy expert, I think. And you know I've seen a lot of windy videos, and I've burnt at least like 300 DVDs.
I got your message. I just didn't have time to respond because I've been working and running around like crazy. So here's what I know. You want to know what planes he built that were piped?
Yeah, that he actually had the video of him constructing the pipe tunnel.
Okay, I don't know which ones he had the videos of it. I know that there was some, probably some videos on the Testarossa, and Mike might know a little bit about that too.
Maybe in the 90 Cardinal.
Also the,
I think 90.
Also the Tribute.
Uh-huh.
The
All the
Tribute
flight
had a piped airplane.
Had a tuned pipe?
There was also,
It was
yeah,
right.
the Tribute had a tuned. The Tribute was tuned piped, and there was a lot of video done on that one while he was building it. Novanta became a tuned piped airplane for a little while, but I turned it back to a normal fuselage, just using a motor with the 90. But he did run a tuned pipe out of it for a while. But I repaired it all.
Okay.
He had the bottom all cut right open. Now, the 99
Okay,
Spitfire, I believe, had a pipe tunnel. Are you there, Phil?
I'm still here. I'm just thinking. I remember seeing him using like headers, like header mufflers on those planes that you mentioned. I don't remember actual tuned pipes that went, most of the length of the fuselage. I remember just
on which airplane?
On the ones you mentioned, the Novanta, the Tribute. Really? Okay,
No,
see,
the
my
Tribute
recollection could be
definitely.
wrong.
It was not a header muffler. The Testarossa
Okay.
was definitely a pipe, not a header muffler.
right, well, I have a lot
Also,
of those videos.
Miss Ashley also had a pipe.
Now that one, I
Second
remember
Miss
that was
Ashley.
a
I'm not
pipe.
sure about the first one.
I think
Yeah, I remember the
everything
Miss
between. I think everything between Miss Ashley and including the what was that, the Tribute, I think, the yellow plane, all of them, they are all piped.
Tribute, yeah.
Yeah. And if
All
you
right.
also had
Yeah,
one
the
for
Novanta
Cardinal.
originally was not.
But Charles, what do you need to
Yeah,
know
the
about
Cardinal
the
had
tune
a
pipe?
different type of pipe.
What do you need to know about the tune pipe?
Well,
now?
I just want to see how someone would construct it. I've never seen it. I've never seen a video presentation of the construction of a tuned pipe, the pipe tunnel, and how they maybe seal it from
No, I really
everything. I
that's.
haven't seen a visual.
I don't think it really matters, and usually you leave the rear
As
side
long
of
as
the
it's
pipe
fuel
open.
proof, that's right.
Yeah, and fuel proof it. Otherwise, it's just a shell that goes on top of the pipe. That's all. There's all there it is. It's not
Yeah,
really
it's
structure or anything.
only 1/8 sheeting. Yeah,
Yeah, no
yeah.
big
There's
deal.
not a lot of structure in the tunnel. It's just open. You want it as open as possible to the tunnel.
Yeah, you want the air to flow through it, and that's it, and cool the pipe, and that's it.
Yeah, so that you get good cooling. Exactly. You want good cooling.
Looks like Jeff Riley's got his plane ashore.
Here you go, Len.
Yeah, Jeff, what do you got there?
What you got there, Jeff?
You say that's
hey,
an
Jeff.
Olympic?
That's that junkyard dog.
Oh, junkyard dog. All right.
Oh, looks,
Good job, Jeff.
Wow, I like how
that looks
thin
awesome.
your ribs are.
Wow, man. Love those
Looks
ribs.
like
Hey, Jeff, I'm taking a wild guess here.
What's that?
I'm taking a very wild guess
I'm
here.
saying your ribs.
Fox 35.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be a 77.
So,
I don't believe you. You're lying.
not buying it for a second.
Let's see. See how big the wingspan is? I can
Yeah.
No, I don't have a Fox 35.
I like your ribs.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Are those
done
ribs
with,
kind of like the
That's awesome.
that's done with an air race template.
Fastest right there. You handle that?
Okay, that's why they're so familiar.
And as of right now, I'm still gonna do the cowling, a lot of finish sanding, and the bottom block, and put a motor in it, but it weighs 11 ounces.
Jeff, it's a lot easier to
How much?
mold the
Well,
bottom
I'm
block.
not surprised.
It weighs 11 ounces.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
Now, let me see if I can get that.
I got tail wheels that weigh more than that.
Yeah. Yeah. I still have a maze on it.
Now,
too.
now, where did you get your balsa wood from?
Believe it or not, I got it from Michael's.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm surprised you got it from Michael's and it weighs only 11 ounces.
As of right now, that's what it is.
Yeah,
And
but it's
got
basically an I-beam wing.
That's,
sort of.
Yeah.
It's kind of built like halfway between an I-beam and the way Sparky showed how he did the Millennium.
Uh-huh.
It's got an 1/8 spar in it.
Uh-huh.
are you going to sheet
Very
the
nice.
leading edge?
No, I got a
Okay.
figure 8 thread back here,
Okay.
Okay.
and that stiffens up.
What about half ribs? Are you going to have half ribs between those ribs?
No, I want to. It's only powered by tip weight. I want to keep it as light as possible.
Okay.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
I'm shooting for 24 ounces.
Well done.
You know what?
Wow.
Keep it
Wow.
simple. Just put monocoat on it and call it a day. And make sure you seal the fuselage well.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
mess with it.
I was thinking about Econo coat actually, because it's actually lighter.
Very good. Good choice. You know, that'll work. That'll work. Yeah. Just keep it light. Keep it light. It'll be fine. And, I mean, just like, you know how to fly it, huh?
My new airplane,
Heck.
Jeff, I'm trying to keep it under 75 ounces. I'll be happy.
I don't think I weigh 75 ounces. 75. What are you going to power it with? An 80?
That's awesome. No, K77, Casminato 77.
All right. Way to go. K77.
That's Charles's buddy right there.
Well, that and the Stalker 81.
Some of you guys saw that plane. Some of you guys have already seen that plane. Jeff, did you see it?
No.
Bring it up.
Okay, well, let me,
Mike Leinke said he would like to speak.
yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Go, Mike.
Go finish the Casminato stuff. Just Gary, when they're done, remind me. I've got the shut off bell crank ready to show. So y'all finish what you were doing, and then I'll go. But Gary had asked to see the shut off bell crank. So
No, I'm going to go put this away. I'm good.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
oh, I thought somebody was pulling something up on their screen.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well then I'll go now. I'll just go now, and we'll let Len go when he comes back. Let me make my screen big so I can see what I'm showing here. No, I don't want
I
to
got
flip it.
big on my end.
Yeah, me too.
Hang on. I need to be big so I can see what I'm doing here. There we go.
Yeah, that helps.
Okay, so there's the bell crank. I'm gonna hold this steady so you can get a good look at it. Do you see the piece of fuel line running through the bell crank right now? Okay, so this is cocked and ready for takeoff. And you see this torsion spring in here? And then this little arm of the spring is stuck in a hole in the bell crank. That's how you cock it for launch. And then once the airplane leaves, I'm going to see if I can do this so you guys can see without my fat hands being in the way. Let's try this. Once it leaves and it has tension, sorry, I got to go this way. Okay, so that popped out. The little arm that holds it for launch. See how it's popped out now right there?
It's sort of blurry, but yeah, we can see.
Right there. So see how this bell crank moves back and forth? See, it's closing and it's opening.
Oh, I see that.
So line tension holds this open. And if you lose line tension, the bell crank slides and shuts.
Oh.
I have another example right here in my hand off the airplane. So that is armed and ready to go. You see this goes through a hole in the bell crank and leaves it open just enough so that you can start the motor and send the airplane. But when it gets tension, let me do this the right way here. When it gets tension, that piece pops out, okay? That piece pops out in that hole that your fuel line is through, okay? But this, I got to put one of these in here to do it. The bell crank bolt, if you can see what I'm doing here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
line tension, it's wide open under line tension. If you lose line
Right.
tension, that hole is gone, and that's where your fuel line goes through. It pinches the fuel line completely off.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. That makes
So the whole bell crank, but what you have to do is you got an rod on there, that little piece right there just locks it open just enough for fuel to come through for starting. And then once you get tension, let's see if I can do it so you can see it. Hold on, wait. There you go. See, it's popped out. Now that's no longer locked in. And if you lose line tension, that little hole right there, boom, gone. Fuel line pinches off. And then they're set up for button bell cranks, not bell cranks, lead outs. We use button lead outs on a lot of combat stuff. So when you make up your lines, an X-Acto knife is what you use, and you either slide it up tight around the X-Acto knife and use a crimp, or wrap your lines, whatever you want. And this is just smaller than the diameter of an X-Acto knife, which gives you enough to pop that line on there, and then they just stay on.
Yeah.
Because you gotta work them a little bit to get them on there. If you use an X-Acto knife, like the handle of an X-Acto knife, that diameter is a little bit bigger than that, just enough that you can slide a line on there. And this, they come in three different sizes. This is a fast combat, so the tension on the spring, I don't know the pounds off the top of my head, what it takes to open and close this, but it's pretty considerable. But you can get this same bell crank with a lighter spring to use for a speed limit model, which doesn't have as much tension. So a lighter spring on a speed limit model will activate this. And then there's another version even for half A models, for half A combat, and it's a 2-inch bell crank, and it has a lighter spring. It's just a half A model will pull it open and it'll shut if you lose line tension. So they have different 2-inch and 3-inch, and then 3 different weights, I guess you would say, of the spring that's in there to open and close it. Did that answer your question, Gary?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
How long have you had that? A safety device, right?
Yeah, shutoffs in combat have been mandatory on fast combat models for a long time. They're not required on half A or speed limit, but a lot of guys want them on half A models because those half A engines they're $200 a piece. You know, you don't want to have a flyaway and lose a motor. On speed limit, you don't have to have them because it's under 80 miles an hour. But again, it's just
safety thing.
For why take a chance on losing an engine and a whole airplane if it kills them immediately too. I mean, it's as soon as if the lines are cut, engine's off, it's done. But they've had shutoffs for so many years. And there's been all different iterations. There's been swing arm shutoffs with a weight, like a big fishing sinker on them that swing out and close. There's spring things. There's I've got another interesting one I can show you for slow. So this is a slow combat shutoff from back in the day. And all this is you run your fuel line, you solder this brass plate on here and make this spring. Your fuel line goes underneath here, okay? And so you can see that I'm holding tension so it's open and let go. That where it comes down, it pinches the fuel line off. Well, this is hooked to a string that goes to your lead outs. You run a string to both lead outs, the up and down line, both lines. And when you start the plane and launch the plane, you're holding this open or holding tension on the string on the wing. They call it the string on the wing shut off, right? And it sounds crazy, but even though this, a Nelson on suction with this, even once you let go of the plane, that momentary not having enough line tension, the engine will burp. They always go, because this closes a little bit, but then as soon as it gets line tension, it pulls this open again, and it stays open for the whole flight. And then, bam! If your lines are cut, that shuts your fuel. That's an old school way of combat. So I guess to answer your question, Jeff Rain designed this. And Tony Huber is the machinist that makes this, and I want to say these came out maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and it's what using now on exposed bell crank combat planes. That's the other caveat with these, because you have to arm it and lock that pin in. This is only for something where your bell crank is on top of the model. You cannot mount this internally inside, the center of the wing rib under covering and all that, because you can't arm it. So this is only for exposed.
Oh, okay.
There's other types of shutoffs that they use for internal shutoffs, but for us, it's a non-issue. Everything we build and fly has an external bell crank, so it's fine for us. There's been a lot of unique, wacky designs over the years for shutoffs. Let me tell you. I thought this is the most tricked out one I ever saw. And this is what we still fly when we fly slow. When we fly slow combat, a slow combat with a Nelson 36 on a suction tank. We still use these, and they work just fine. They work fine. There's more than one way to skin a cat, I guess. What was your interest in them, Gary?
I don't know. I just was watching a video or something and saw them, and I thought, well, I don't know about that. I was going to ask Mike. I said, I'll ask him. He might see if he's got it on his.
Well, there you go. That's all I know about shutoffs. So.
Does any other planes use it? Like the speed planes?
Well, I think the speed guys
Speed,
use something
maybe.
where they like jerk full up or something, don't they? And the racing guy, I can't speak to that because I'm not a speed
The
guy or
racing guy
Seems to me that
used to use shutoffs, but it's never on the up line. It's always on the down line.
on the down line. Okay.
Okay?
Seems to me
so
that
when you
speed
give
guy,
full down, when you give full down, it shuts the engine off.
yeah. The speed do something similar doing it, but they do like at the end of their run, I see them doing that to kill their motor. So it could be up down. I don't know, and I don't know how that system works. Al Ferraro would know if Al gets in here. Al
You
would
would
be
know
able
for sure.
to
Yeah,
tell us.
we hadn't seen
But
him
I've
in a
set up
while.
lots of racing
He would.
shutoffs.
All right,
Yeah,
Gary. I
thanks.
hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you, Mike.
No problem.
If we get bored later on, I might get you to redo your first show and tell because I think most people on YouTube missed it as we were down at that time. Stream was down.
Okay, I think Len missed it too. Len might be interested to see that stuff.
Yeah, I missed it. I'd like to see it. Okay.
Yeah, I just
Okay, Jeff, I just
checked.
want to
Yeah,
show
we'll
you.
carry on. I'm going to start making noise here, so I'm going to turn my mic off. But
Okay.
Jeff, I just wanted to show you this airplane. This is what I built this year. It's a Windy Cardinal, 62-inch span. The wing isn't covered yet, and the fuselage isn't doped or tissued. We're at 60 ounces with the motor and wheels and everything in it. And that's what we're looking at.
A sheeted foam wing?
Sheeted foam wing, yep. Sheeted foam wing,
Nice.
62 inches, around approximately 700 square inches.
That's huge.
Nice.
Hanging 14 inch. So
What
I'm
motor is
hoping
that,
to keep it
man?
under 75. K77.
There we go.
That's gonna fly good.
There it is. It
What
should.
prop are you
If I
using
can
on
keep
the
it under 75 ounces. Rev up 14.5.
Yeah, I got the
Wow.
Olympic. I got the Olympic on the bar right now.
I saw it there.
I was gonna show it to
Let's
Charles.
see it.
Yeah, it's
Let me click on you, Jeff.
I don't know if you can see it or not.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Nice.
That's set up for a Tiger 46. And I just took it off.
I like your wheel.
Awesome. What's
I like the wheel spats. Those are pretty. I like your wheel spats. They're pretty stylish.
Yeah, I got bored with trying to make the wheel pants for it because they're too small. So I just thought, I'll just do this. Tiger 46,
Very cool.
and as it sits right now, it's ready for
looks
color.
good.
It's ready for color, and on my scale weighs pounds and ounces. 1.14
Right.
pounds.
Right.
So that's
2
17.
point.
It's 17.4 ounces with a 5-ounce tank in it.
Wow.
And it's
Very nice.
set up for a Tiger 46.
Now, are those ribs similar to the Junkyard Dog?
No, that's the Olympic.
Yeah,
That's the one I want to sell.
but okay, because I have a couple of Olympics that this guy built, and he used what he calls strip ribs. They have just as much wood on them as what I saw your Junkyard Dog has.
Oh yeah. Now
I've got a
I have
plane
it
with ribs like
right out of the Brodak box.
Okay.
I've got a plane with ribs like that that Bob Zambelli scratch built about 20, 30 years ago. It's hanging in my shop needing recovering. It was covered with silk, and the silk is all dry rotted now. But that's all the wings, the ribs are, and if you touch them, they'll break. So I don't know if that plane can be salvaged or not.
Usually when they're that old, they'll disintegrate when you touch them.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's happening to this one. It's a beautiful plane. It's a about a 25 size full fuselage. It's called a feather, only it's in Italian, and I don't remember the word, but it's got a big picture of a feather on what's left of the covering on one wing, and weighs 17 ounces.
Wow. That's what that weighs without a motor in it. Tiger 46 weighs, but I think they're close to 8 ounces.
Yeah, it's about close to 8. I think we weighed them one night on here. Do you remember?
You did weigh one. I seem to
Yeah, I think it was around.
8.
It was close to 8. Yeah, it was somewhere between 6 and 8. It's not a very heavy motor.
17. I'm looking at 25 plus color.
I see Tom's wearing his bow tie tonight. Yeah.
Chevrolet.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've always been a Chevy guy when it came to hot rods and things like that. As far as grocery getters, I'm pretty much a Hyundai guy now. But my Hyundai's got 300 horsepower, so that ain't too bad.
No, that's not bad.
That's real good.
I own 7 Chevys and 2 Fords.
Oh yeah, tell me what kind of cars you got. Are any of them hot rods?
I've got a Z28 Camaro.
Oh, you might have told us about that one. Is it 79 or thereabouts?
73.
73. Okay. Oh, so that's probably got a big block in it, does it? Or is
No,
it? No, Z28
350.
draws small block.
It's a
350, yeah.
So I have 2 Camaros, 2 Buicks, 2 Impalas, 2 pickup trucks, and a Lincoln Town Car.
Oh,
That's one of
well,
my Fords.
are either one of your Impala Super Sports? If you got an Impala Super Sport?
No, they're
Those are cool.
actually my wife's car. My wife drives the Impalas.
Where do you park?
What's
You're
the
in
newest?
Sorry, 2 people ask at the same time. What was the question?
Where do you park them?
Well, I have a 3-car garage, so there's two cars in the boat in the garage, and then I've got a separate building that the Z28 Camaro's in, and the rest are outside.
Oh, you got a boat. If you got a boat ramp in your backyard down to that lake?
No, I use the public access for the big boat. Well, I have 7 boats, so.
Oh, gosh.
Holy crap. Okay.
How many boats? 7?
7?
So,
One for each day.
well, I don't know. I got a fishing boat, the ski boat, got a paddle wheel boat, canoe, 3 wave runners.
And y'all have about 6 weeks of warm weather up there where you can take a boat out.
Exactly.
Good Lord.
That's funny. Now, I heard that one boat is a hole in the ocean. You just pour water in.
That's pretty.
That's what my boat was.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah,
boats in my basement too. They all fly a little bit.
I can't imagine 7 boats.
I got 7 boats in my basement. They all fly a little bit. Oh boy.
I guess that is true. Flying model airplanes, you can spend some money, but it really is cheap compared to other hobbies.
You better believe it.
Is.
You spend
Especially
as much as
control line. The least
I tell you
expensive
guys, spend as much money as you want in control line. It's still cheap. I don't care if
It
you
is.
spend $1,000 3 times a year. It's still the cheapest hobby going.
That's
Marvelous.
about true. Yeah. It's the least
Yeah.
expensive hobby of all of them.
Exactly. I always laugh. I see all these guys who fly control line, and they're so dirt cheap. They don't want to spend money for a tail wheel or for wheels or for tanks. They're always trying to scrounge something for nothing. I think, what is the matter with you? This is the cheapest hobby on earth. Don't be so silly. Go to the hobby shop and have some fun. It's still cheap.
Man, I wish we had a hobby
Yeah.
shop. I'm just walking around looking at the hobby shop stuff. Our
Yeah.
last one was 70 miles away, and when it closed, it's like gone. It's terrible.
Well, okay. Fortunately, you can still order stuff from where there is hobby shops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
God for the
that hobby
internet.
shop was in Rock Hill, halfway between here and Huntersville. And so me and Wayne used to always stop and load up on supplies when we would go up to Huntersville for a meeting or something. We're going to have a virtual meeting this month.
That's what our club's been doing.
Will's been trying to get the system set up. I think he and Max Flo did a test run on it, and I think they had some kind of trouble, but that's what test runs are for. So I think that's this coming Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't think Will's posted, but I believe he's watching. Hey, Will, how you doing out there, buddy?
How's that gonna work, Rusty?
I don't know. I'm waiting to find out myself, but I guess it'll be a lot like this. The members of the
That's right.
club will have the link to the meeting.
Huh?
Oh, there's Will.
That's right. That's what we do.
And
Will just said he's doing good. I
He
guess
just-
some will use their phones and some will use their computers, just like we do here. He's using Zoom.
so it's flying like
Double
one at a
use your
time.
Apple tablets.
Hey, that would be me.
Use
We
whatever
might
you
not
got.
allow our members to use Apple. You can't join our club if you're an Apple user. Just kidding.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna make some noise. I'm gonna make some noise. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I've got a question. Has anybody come up with
All right.
a stooge that they could use like on concrete or blacktop?
you just need weight to it.
I have one.
Oh,
You want
yeah.
me to go get it?
What's her name?
Oh man, that was
Tom
cold.
has 7
All I can think
stooges.
of,
That was cold.
all I can think of is a cinder block that with stake skewer through the holes. Couple of cinder blocks, just like I used to use bricks on the concrete pavement for my half A planes. Well, I'd step it up to a cinder block for a 40, 50, 60 size plane. A pair of cinder blocks with a stick that holds the plane in between the two cinder blocks. Jerk the rod out when you're ready to go.
Just don't run
That would
into
be
the
kind of
cinder block
cumbersome
when
to
you're landing.
carry around, but
Well, for my half
No
A,
kidding.
I'd used a drill vise, and that was heavy enough. But I got to thinking that isn't going to work for something bigger. It'll be dragging it around.
yeah, I use a bath mat. I use the old bath mat stooge on a PVC yard table for my cafe stuff.
Yeah, that works.
You see this,
Yeah,
Bill?
a wing stooge.
You see this, Bill?
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Tom, this is
Tom, go get one of your 7 stooges for us, man.
He's probably got 19 of those.
This one is
Oh, there you
19 of
go.
them by now.
half-inch plate steel, so it's pretty heavy. And then I just made up the spring-loaded release,
Oh, nice.
and then I've made a little reel for my release line
Cheers.
with a little crank on it so I can wind it up easy. I haven't tried it yet. I
We all have one.
made it this year.
And then you have the good news
How
and the
big of a
bad
plane
news.
can
The
that
good
half-inch
news,
plate hold back?
What's
good
that?
news.
Too
How
many
heavy
people
a
talk.
plane? Yeah. Well, let me talk first, and then y'all talk. How heavy of a plane can that half-inch plate hold back before it starts dragging it?
I think quite a bit. And there's also a hole in the plate so I could drive a nail through it if it's in grass. You know, if you had it on wet grass or something, it would slide more so you could nail it down.
You could put a soft rubber mat on the bottom of it.
Yeah, could do that.
In a second.
And then you have the good news and the
If
bad
you're
news.
flying
The
on
good
concrete, you can put a nail in the crack. What's the good news?
news, we landed safely. The bad news, we hit the stooge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least we missed the
Oh my
toolbox,
God.
right?
Yeah.
Well, what I want to do
Hey,
is like,
Eddie, how you doing tonight? What you got going on? Eddie?
Was that question for me?
My mic's on.
I think he's frozen.
Can you hear me?
No, he's moving. Yeah.
Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. I can't type anything. I can't say anything. I don't know what's wrong.
Well, that's right.
Oh, we hear you.
Okay with us.
Well, sounds good.
Oh, we hear you all
Hear you
right.
now.
I heard.
Okay, well, okay. That's for a while. I'm just talking away, and
Okay.
I still can't chat on the live Stunthangar.
On Sparky's on Sparky's show. Yeah, that's right. You were telling us about that. I don't know what to do other than give him a call.
Well, not
and
even
see what he has
tonight.
to
I
say
can't.
about it.
If I go on my phone,
Yeah, we stopped now.
can chat.
He froze up again.
Say hello.
He's in and out.
Here to live chat, and it disappears. It doesn't come on the screen. Go through.
Ever since you
He's in
paid
and
your
out.
money, it quit working, right? I don't know. I know you're breaking up really bad. We can hear you, but you're cracking up, broken sentences. But that's just 8x8. It needs a stronger signal than most of us have. Now, if you're here late in the night when we've only got 3 or 4 people, then it works smooth as silk. You know, everybody's like the perfect video chat.
Yeah, when there's a crowd, it's a little shaky.
Yeah.
I forgot to turn my
I want to
video
go back to Hangout.
I just
I
turned
want
my
to go.
video.
Yeah, I always do that. I want to go back to Hangouts since it's free again, but that'll limit us to 10 people. And right now we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. We got 11 people now, and a lot of times we have 15 lately. So I don't want to restrict our audience, our visitors.
I hear you.
but it kept us from being able to talk over each other. It found who was making the most noise and put the screen focus on them, and you couldn't overtalk and step on somebody else like you can with this.
Yeah. Rusty,
It had its
Just-
problems too. Don't get me
just
wrong.
kick
Yes,
just kick the Canadians off, man.
Nice.
that
That's
might
nice
be
going.
what's messing it up.
Nice to know who your friends are.
I think Bill had something else he was going to say.
Oh,
No,
Oh,
it's been windy here, so I've been
Unbelievable.
slope starring.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you got some good slopes to get some high speeds up, like I see them on YouTube?
Not really, but the bluffs are 500 feet
Not
high.
those guys.
That's called dynamic soaring.
That's amazing. Yeah,
I was doing some of that on
that's scary fast.
Saturday off of there's a big sand pile where they piled up dredge sand, and I made about a half a dozen circuits, is about as all I could seem to do, and then I would lose the groove.
You have to go run, chase the plane down wherever it lands, or can you get it back to where you're standing?
Yeah, one time I crashed on top of the sand pile and I had to climb up there.
Every time it's windy here, my wife says, "Look, it's half A weather." Oh my God.
You can fly half
Tells
A
you
in the wind.
true control, liar.
Yeah,
Ah, you can't. Fun. You got to be able to run real quick and keep it down. Don't fly too high.
that's what we call the wind. Yeah, that's the wind dance.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was just looking at this guy that has the speed record. Fastest airplane in the world, transonic. 545 miles per hour, dynamic soaring plane.
Holy crap.
That's a glider. Doesn't even have a motor on it. It's flying that fast. I can't even comprehend how
John.
can you fly something at that speed.
I can't either.
Looks like John Miller just joined in.
Yeah, I see you. Hey, John, how are you tonight? Happy Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, we were on to what 3:30 or something, I think, Friday night.
it was
You're
late.
kidding, really?
Yeah.
Hey, that was the night I had to bail out because the doorbell rang at 12:30. How about
Yeah.
that shit? What y'all?
you're like,
And
The
I came
doorbell?
back,
who is visiting
I
Rusty?
did the dumbest thing ever. I did the
What the hell
dumbest
was at
thing
your door
ever. I
at
turned my
12:30?
muted mic. I did the dumbest thing ever. I turned my camera off and muted the mic when I could have had a whole worldwide audience of spectators. But yeah, the doorbell rang and the dog went crazy, and I shot out of the chair and went to look, and there was somebody at the front door that wanted in. And so I came back and turned off the camera and the mic. Don't ask me why, but I started shouting back and forth at the guy through the door, and I couldn't understand anything that he was saying because we got a glass door and a heavy oak door, and so we shouted at each other like first it was, "Who is it?" and then he said something I couldn't understand, and I told him to go away. And I told him that a couple of times. I said, "Listen, you need to get the fuck out of here." Excuse me, not supposed to cuss on here, but this is a documentary.
Nice one, Rusty.
And he said, that it sounded like I could understand was something about the police. He might have said, "Are you going to call the police?" Or he said something about the police. Whatever it was, I'm thinking, yeah, that's it. So I hollered back, said, "Yeah, I'm gonna call the police right now." And I came back over here by the computer where my phone was and dialed 911. Well, they kept me on the line forever before they finally got through. They want to know if I'd been COVID exposed and all this kind of stuff.
Oh,
And
good Lord.
the man in, he wants in real bad. And finally, the guy hauls ass off the front porch because I told him the police are on the way, and runs towards the next yard. Well, I thought he'd come around to the back door at first, and I'm glad he didn't because, well, I ain't gonna describe why, but anyway, the cop came. By the time the cop came here, then he was long gone. So he walked around and looked and couldn't find anybody, and walked in the backyard, looked around. Dude was either running from something, or somebody had given him a wrong address, or he was out of his mind. But whatever it was, I wasn't going to let him in my damn house, and I wasn't even going to put my face in the window to look out and see what he looked like. While Holly was peeking out the curtain, she got a look at him. But anyway, it was all over after that, and so I came back. Y'all were still here, so I said, "Oh, now let's see." No, when I was waiting on the cops to come, I came back and said, "Okay, guys, I got to go." Bye, boom, turned it off. Didn't say why or anything, and y'all were just chatting along, so I figured y'all would be okay. But that was the last time I saw most of you, is when that was going on Friday night. That was pretty weird. I don't know who it was or what he wanted.
For sure. Well, you did the right thing. You didn't open the door.
No way I was opening the door, have that sucker come kicking it the rest of the way in. Because if he
Good for
wanted
you.
in, I sure, if he was hiding from somebody or something, I didn't want them coming in too. Just find him coming through my door and they'd be right behind him. So no, I didn't even unlock the door. I stood beside the door.
No.
And what'd you say?
You didn't have your scatter gun ready?
Kalashnikov.
I had it, but no, I didn't have it out.
Keep it
If it
beside
had
your
lasted
chair at
any
all
longer, that
times.
might have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should.
That would have got
Maybe I'll
the message.
maybe I'll start doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll get the message across real quick.
I'll have to saw the barrels off of that Parker Brothers so it'll be easier to swing around.
Well, some guy banging on my door trying to get in. It's not going to end well for him. I can just say that.
No. I'll give him credit. He wasn't stupid enough to start pulling on the door, pulling or pushing. He stood back from it. And Holly said he tried to look through the glass up on his tiptoes one time, but I don't know if he could see me or not. But that was fucking strange. I was oddly not concerned about it after the show. I just went on to bed, went right to sleep. I wasn't worried about it. Hell, whatever happens will happen. But I think it was all a big misunderstanding. But I went back and watched the rerun, and it did. Y'all might not have even been able to tell anything was wrong. One person said the doorbell at 12:30 and 12:30 at night, and I didn't make as much commotion as I thought I might have before I shut my camera off.
So we still haven't heard from John. Has he got his mic up? Say something, John.
Hey, John. Can you hear us, John?
No, still can't hear him.
Thumbs up if you can hear me. Nope. I can't stick my thumb up, but y'all know what I mean.
You can stick your thumb up.
I can't exercise. That's as much as I can straighten my fingers out, too.
Give him the index finger.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
won't,
can
dude.
stick my left thumb up a little bit. Shorter. This one will stick up a little bit. I can't point towards anything.
We're having way too much fun, and he doesn't
Now I
know what
remember
we're
when I was
laughing
a kid.
Oh, good Lord.
I think John's working on his CAD.
I hope we're making people all over the world laugh while we do this show. There might be people over in the Philippines laughing their asses off watching us or wherever in the world.
You can bet they are. You can imagine on the outside watching us, they think we're a bunch of retards. Unbelievable.
A lot of times, right when we're signing off, somebody will jump in and say, "You guys are so cool," and then I'll be turning the signal off by then. But it's not unusual for me to get a last-minute message hurried in like that. Say, "Hey, I love you guys," or "You guys are so cool," and then it's gone, turned off.
Well, we definitely have a lot of fun.
Hey, I wish
anyway.
they'd come in and talk. Yeah. Jack Snavely says, I got a 6-volt old truck barn and hooked it up to a 12-volt battery. Just used it as a joke on friends. Very upsetting. Yeah, I could have one of those by the door. Put it on a pistol grip. Point it at somebody and go, "Ah!"
You know, I was thinking about, I've been to the free flight Nats 4 times, and you hear glow motors running pretty much all day long, but in short bursts. But I bet when it's control line week, it's just constant glow motors all week.
Well, there's a lot more electrics now. It's probably only
used to be
50-50.
like that,
Good night, Eddie.
Good night, Eddie.
Eddie's having
Good
night, Eddie.
problems.
Good night, Ed.
Take care, man.
I was
Right,
surprised at the last Nats when I went to the last Nats. Actually, last year, right? And how little flying was being done outside of the competition. Almost nothing, Just like you usually have.
Yeah,
No practice,
that's what I've
eh?
heard.
Yeah, everybody was flying at 6. Started with 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock, and some like 6:30. I think the first flights. And people were there flying at 6:30. Right now, nobody even showed up. I mean, just like I'm going like, wow, things changed.
If you saying they're flying official flights at 6 in the morning?
No, I'm
Is that what
saying
you're
like
saying?
people actually
No.
flying. My first Nats in 2000.
Practice.
What was that? In 1996 was my first Nats. And when I went to my first Nats, I couldn't hear. I was in a tent over there, and everybody would start flying around 6 o'clock, 6:15, somewhere over there. That was my alarm clock. And I was like, man, this guy's. And they would fly until lights out. So, but
Oh, yeah, they fly till dark.
Oh man, it's just probably talking 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 till dark, constantly. El Pad was full of planes, and it was just constantly flying, nonstop. And that was fun, that was great, But last year, nothing, man. Nobody would come out to practice or do any of that stuff. It's kind of, it was hot, but compared to what was previous
There
years,
was some bad weather days though last year. Trying
yes,
the wind was high enough that kept people away a few days.
Yeah, but still, even in the nice days, I mean,
Yeah,
it
when
didn't
it's-
get that much. And the year before, let's say the year before, that's 2018. The same thing was very nice weather in the afternoons, but very little flying going on. You know, it's not as yeah.
You and I
It's different.
with Dan Banjock, and we had the alphas, and we were flying rubber free flight. But you didn't buy the alpha; you bought the other crappy one that they had, and you were trying to trim that rubber band plane out. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Those was a very nice day that day. Yeah.
That's the first time I met you.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I plan on taking some rubber stuff and some hand launch gliders this year because Banjock, either one or two nights, he busts out a bunch of their free flight stuff, and that's the models.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be lucky if I can go anywhere past the corner store. I'll be lucky if I can even get to the border by then.
I'm gonna have to send John a PM or something and ask him what's going on.
Yeah, send them something because something's going on.
I can't do it right now. It's just my system resources won't let me go out and open a new tab and do that.
Okay.
He disappeared right when I said that. Maybe he's rebooting. I think Eddie's signal's just too weak.
Yeah, he's up there in the
I had a
boondocks.
hard time early. There must have been some mistake on YouTube. Is he?
Yeah, Eddie's up in the boondocks there, and
Probably with a satellite dish.
What
Yeah.
state do you live in? What state is Eddie
What'd you say,
from?
Trey?
he's in
Tennessee.
Tennessee, but he's like he's northwest of me.
Oh, okay.
And I think that the town he lives in, so he may not have good signal.
And you were on a mold?
What? Yeah, I'm polishing
You're
them all
working
here.
on a mold?
Yep.
Okay, I thought so.
Make good use of the time. I learned them from some of you guys.
I'm working.
I tried it. I haven't figured out how to get the computer to work down a minute. Still do this, or I would.
I used to use
You haven't figured out how to get the computer to do what?
To work like my hookup and everything is up here upstairs. I'd have to drill a hole through the floor and run wires and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, you don't have to have wires between them anymore. Your router's wireless. It's got antennas in it or on it.
Yeah, if I
My
unplug, I don't
antennas are
think it'll
hidden
work.
inside
I can
the gate.
try it.
Yeah, it'll come right back.
Well, Len, are you working
Probably.
off a desktop?
Yeah, no,
Len,
laptop.
are you working off a
laptop?
laptop? Yeah, you should be able to go in your basement and still get a signal with it.
Yeah, you
that
might
Canadian
have to.
internet,
Well,
man.
you know what? Here's what it is. He's using it probably hooked up to his router with a cable, and he'd have to re-sign into the Wi-Fi router when he unplugged it. Maybe, I don't know if we can get Lynn to do that.
I think he
Is that what it
unplugged.
is, Lynn? You got a wire from the back of your computer that goes over to the router. Oh,
think
he's
he
not hearing me.
I think he unplugged to try it.
He
And now
did.
he's fine.
And
Yeah.
is he running
There
a
he- What in the
He's
hell?
probably plugged in with an Ethernet cable right to the router.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what we're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
He's using an
I
Ethernet
think that's what
cable.
it is. Yeah, and to go wireless, he might have to put the password in. Your microphone's not working.
Well, yeah,
man.
that's all. He just needs to turn the Wi-Fi on his laptop. It's that Canadian internet, I tell you.
He's on the move.
I don't think he's got enough signal. We got a color picture of him though. So
He's going down to the
he's
shop.
walking.
Oh, I got nothing. I can't see him.
Oh, okay.
We see every
Wonder
10th
if
frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if he's using a plug-in microphone up there on the
There he is.
desk.
He's back.
He's in the shop.
He's frozen though.
Uh-oh.
He just froze, yeah. Ah, he's moving. Turned his camera off. There you go.
Lynn, unmute your mic. We can see you, Len, but we can't hear you.
I'm gonna have to make some big flashcards that say your microphone's not working or something like that. So,
We don't hear you, Len. We see you, but we don't hear you.
he says, I know.
He knows.
I can read it.
He doesn't know why the sound's not working.
Monday night. These Monday night shows are a little lame sometimes.
You know, I used to work in my shop, and I could get on when we had both Hangouts and Jitsi. But when we went to 8x8, my
Yeah.
tablet won't work with 8x8. So I have to do the computer. The computer's in my computer room. That's where I am now.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll try this.
There you
I
go.
haven't
There you
There
go.
you live.
Gypsy lately. If they,
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Hear
we
you
hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
yep.
We hear you,
Well, you know
Lynn.
what's interesting is you can hear me now, but you can't see me.
Right.
See, I turned my camera off. I turned the
That's
camera
the
off,
problem, yeah.
and you can hear me. But if I put the camera on, then the mic goes off. So I don't know what's up with that.
I know how
That's
to
weird,
fix
eh?
that.
How?
I know how to fix it. Just
Okay, tell.
refresh the screen. Refresh the screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how do I do that.
Symbol that looks
I
like
don't know if your display looks like mine. At the very top, there's your left and right arrows and a arrow that looks like a circle. And
Yeah.
sometimes there's a little house
Yeah.
up there. Okay,
Yeah, I
click
got
the
that.
arrow with the circle, and you'll disappear for about 30 seconds, and then come back, and I bet everything will work. You might have to manually turn the stuff back on. Oh well, he's gone. See if Rusty's on-demand diagnostics works.
back, but he's muted and
Ah, here he comes. Well, it always comes in that way at first. Seems to for him anyway.
Yep. Turn your.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got your voice, Lynn.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
And his camera.
Turn your camera.
Okay, hang on. I'll turn the camera on just a second. You still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
we're
There
good.
you go.
We're
We see you and hear you.
now I can
There
build.
you go.
Hey, now I can
Hey,
build
Lynn.
too. That's awesome.
Yeah. Your picture's choppy, but that's okay.
That's all right. This is an airplane I'm helping a buddy finish off. Just a Brodak Profile Cardinal.
Oh, cool. Oh, those are great planes. Except I don't
You
like that
betcha.
the flaps go all the way up to the wingtips. I'm thinking of shortening mine by about 3 inches.
Why is that? Why is that? What's wrong with it going to the end?
I don't know. I'm thinking that maybe there's more turbulence around it when you operate the flap, and it might fly the hard corners a little smoother
No,
if you have a. You
these
don't think so?
these fly amazing. Exact. No, these fly
I
amazing
know.
right out of
Okay.
the box. They're awesome. Absolutely outstanding.
Okay. Well,
If
my old one
anything,
flew
if
amazing.
anything,
So yeah.
shorten the. If anything, shorten the width of the flap a little bit, maybe 3/8 of an inch off the back, so it's not quite so wide.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because
Why
it
do you
tends
think
to
that
be a
would be a
little
good idea?
tougher on windy. Makes it fly better on windy days. On windy days, those 3-inch wide flaps are a real hand. They're a real handful. So what I do is I take about 3/8 of an inch off the trailing edge of the flap from one end to the other.
I'll remember to
Then
build
it
it
flies
so that
outstanding.
if I decide to do that, all I got to do is cut it without having to modify anything. So I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not happy with it, and if you're not happy with it, you can always add it back on again if you have to, but you won't have to. Or take just a little, take a 1/4 inch off and see how that works. And I guarantee you'll like it.
Yeah. But my
That's what she
Cardinal was
said.
good in the wind anyway. I called it the Wind Warrior. Actually, I took a Sharpie and a wide Sharpie and wrote that on one of the wings, Wind Warrior. That was after a contest up at Triple Tree. I'm always glad when Mike
This is
doesn't
awesome.
show
I'm
up
actually
out
going to get some
up
stuff
at
done.
Triple Tree because he's already given me a thrashing a week before that, and I can fly by myself, knowing I can still win a contest when Mike's not there.
Yeah, we went head to head there
We're still
for several years, didn't we?
We're still hoping to make it to that
That's one
next
of my
year.
only two.
Okay. Hold on. Go ahead, Lynn.
What, Mike?
Let
We're still
Lynn
hoping
say
to make
something
it.
there.
We're still hoping to make it to Triple Tree next year.
Yes,
Yeah, I
us
hope I
too.
do too.
We'll be happy to see you. What I was going to say was Rosie and I had rivalry going there, Huntersville and Intermediate for several years. We were going head to head there, flying Intermediate at Huntersville.
Yeah.
That was our battleground.
Cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mike used to come up Sunday morning and get them steely blue eyes in my face and, hey, listen, I'm just here to tell you, I want to make sure you know this is serious. This is for real, you know. So we're picking at each other. We had a great time.
Well, we used to talk a lot of smack to each other on the Cox Engine forum about the Huntersville contest. So
Yeah.
it was always a friendly rivalry and all in good fun for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, I miss that so much.
Yeah, we should have had the Huntersville Spring Contest under our belts already, Rusty. You know,
No, yeah, no
that
kidding.
would have been one contest already, and I would have
First weekend in
had
May.
Detroit on. That didn't happen. So
That sucks.
no Paducah anymore. That's over. I mean, really, if they cancel the Nats, the first real contest for us will be Canton, Tom Dixon's contest. All right, Len, now that you're in your workshop, man, you got to turn your mic off when you're drilling stuff, dude. Those are the rules.
Gotcha. That one little drill would stand out that much.
Oh, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Even a little sanding, man, just like the mic just picks it up.
For sure.
All right, now I don't know how to put these on. All right.
You're polishing aluminum tray. That's what you're doing, isn't it?
About 3 years ago, I was at the Nats and went over to your circles, and there was a couple people over there, but I didn't talk to anybody. I know one was flying electric, and somehow the motor stopped, I think, and he had to land upside down, or on the back. But I don't know whether anybody remembered that or not. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think-
very rare.
yeah,
Electrics quitting on you is very rare.
yeah.
Oh, that reminded me when you said the Nats. Will Davis gave me a couple of things to say. He said, tell everybody the Nats stunt events are still on, but RC Pattern just canceled.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That sounds good.
And also, here's another thing he wanted me to tell y'all is that the Pampa website now has older stunt news from the 70s, the archives of all the old magazines posted on their website. And if you're a member of Pampa, you can access that, but I don't think non-members can access it. And that is the last of tonight's Will Davis announcement, unless anybody knows anything about Jerry Hawk, Sparky's buddy, his friend and employer. Guess not.
No.
Oh well. Yeah, I was hoping Sparky'd pop on tonight.
Did something happen to Jerry?
Yeah, he had an aneurysm.
Yeah, he had an aneurysm. They found him lying on his office floor. Took him to the hospital. And after that,
oh no,
a couple of people started speculating. So I just said, let's stop and wait and see what Sparky says about it. That was Friday night when we talked about it. What the hell was that?
What was that?
Did y'all hear that?
Sorry to hear that.
That was, yeah, I'm sorry.
That was
too.
me.
I
I'm
like that.
sorry. I'm looking up.
I haven't watched Sparky's build threads, so I don't know if he's mentioned anything about it on his shows. I need to do that before I go bothering him with it on the telephone.
I've watched all of them,
Doesn't
and he hasn't said anything else other than what we already know.
Okay.
Doesn't Jerry fly one of Bob Hunt's crossfires, like his first crossfire?
I think
twin?
so. Yeah, I believe that's right. A crossfire, is that the twin? No, Crossfire is not a twin,
No,
is it? Okay.
no, it's
Well-
the other one. I'm trying to think of the name of it.
The something, some kind of wind, passing wind is what
Twin wind.
Sparky calls it.
Second wind.
Second wind.
Second wind.
That's it,
isn't
second wind.
Second wind.
Yes.
I got a couple of good pictures of that on my desktop slideshow. That's a sharp. Well, all of Bob's
Who
things
said,
are sharp.
who said passing? Who said passing wind?
Sparky says that. That's what he calls it.
Oh my God.
Passing wind.
Passing. Nice.
I think I made
Not
Bill
very
laugh
nice.
down there in the corner.
Passing
Well,
wind.
Passing
Sparky
wind.
never claimed to be a very nice guy.
That's not very nice.
No, that's not nice at all. It's terrible.
You could get some Swiss cheese looking monocoat and call it slicing cheese.
Oh my God. You guys are bad.
We're hitting the gutter
Yeah,
now.
we must be on Hangout.
What'd you say?
Sorry, Bob. No
Lynn.
offense to you. What's
I
that?
thought you said something. It's gone now.
No, we're good.
Well, I was watching last night out there in California auctioning off them cars. You guys probably seen that at times, haven't you?
Oh,
It was-
the Mecum Auto Auctions.
yeah, they got
Is
off.
that what it was? The Mecum Auto Auctions.
So they went pretty
Man, they
high,
got
wasn't
some
it?
insane cars on there.
Oh,
I like watching a couple of shows where they turn cars, old beaters, into, restore them and make really nice hot rods out of them. Junkyard Empire on Motor Trend channels. It's a great show. It's funny, pretty light, good entertainment, and you can learn something about engines and blowers and turbochargers watching that show. Exhaust systems, you can learn a lot from it. And they're all pretty good natured. They don't cuss every other word, so they're not always bleeping. I hate it when some shows just bleep way too much, and they're not one of them. They don't bleep a whole lot. They manage to be hilarious without cussing every other word. And look who's here, the New Zealand connection, Mr.
Yeah.
Gerald Wimmer, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Gerald. How you doing tonight?
Oh, good, thank you.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear, and I've got reasonable reception, but Alina was using the computer for work inside, so I thought I'd take my cell phone, I'll walk out to the flying field, and that way I'm not using the Wi-Fi from the house. I'm separate from that, and I can actually have a talk for a little bit.
Oh, well, you got a pretty good signal.
Very good signal.
That's
Yeah.
a pretty field. Is that your yard?
Yeah, this is the flying field. I'll stand up and you can sort of see. That's the flying field where we normally fly. And that's the other flying field over
Wow.
on the side. And there's the centre circle,
That is awesome.
and it's looking back towards the house. And the hills over in the distance. But yeah, that's our normal
Cool.
flying field that we normally use each week.
Wow.
You got a long shadow. What is it, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon?
It's about 4 o'clock, and it's winter, so yeah, long shadow. Yep. I just brought one model out with me. It's an old Peacemaker.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Peacemaker. Nice
Yeah,
airplane.
hold it.
A buddy of mine
Hold
had
it
one of
closer
those
to you.
last week.
We were just flying it on the weekend. But
That's a nice
wasn't
looking
LA
plane.
25.
Move it
LA.
closer to yourself.
Sorry?
Uh-oh. Move it closer to yourself. Move the plane like that.
Yep. I don't know. Yeah, I think I've got a
There we
little.
go.
Yeah. It's got a LA
There we go.
25. It's an old model. I didn't build this one. We were given it for me and the boys to use. But it's got the old Rockwell modeler sticker on it from the 1970s, so it'd be quite an old model, I think.
Looks like a pretty tough little bird.
Yeah.
What size engine's on it?
Oh, it's a 25. LA 25. So
All right.
it was the quickest thing I could grab. It was sitting on the bench. I thought I'll have a talking piece if I walk out to the field anyway. But yeah, with the lockdown, we had our first flying meet on the weekend, which was quite nice. Everybody enjoyed getting out. Just it was a bit difficult when we decided we wanted to go and eat at Burger King's, and then you realise we were really in lockdown again because it became difficult to order a meal unless you do the drive-through. If you're trying to get a meal for a group of people, it was challenging.
Yeah.
But it was nice to be flying anyway.
Are y'all still wearing masks?
Some people are wearing, those that are like bus drivers and people working in the food catering industry have to wear masks and gloves, but the kids were back at school yesterday, and yesterday was Monday here, and they don't have to wear masks or anything at school. It's pretty much carrying on the way it was before the lockdown. They've got a few extra precautions, but they seem happy to be back at school, seeing their friends again.
Yeah, my boy hates it without the school environment. He really likes to go to school. I mean, he hates the coronavirus. And I'm like, I want to go to school. I think he misses his friends, his interaction.
Yeah, just that normality is people really want it restored. I think we're longing those things we used to do. And how long has he been off school now?
What grade is Andrew in?
He just finished 4th grade. Just finished 4th grade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's that age too. At least it's not so critical when they're a bit older. It's probably more critical that they're going to get gaps in their learning.
Most everybody since the 1st of March. Gerald, can you keep up with Rocket Labs in New Zealand? Do you keep up with them?
Sometimes I'll have a look at what they're doing. At our Museum of Transport and Technology, they had a display on there from Rocket Labs, and I'll sometimes watch some of the videos. But I'm not a keen follower, I have to admit. I don't always keep an eye on what's happening with Rocket Labs. Last thing I heard about, I think they were going to try to develop.
Peter Beck is their owner. I like Peter Beck. He seems like a pretty cool guy.
It will be a challenging time. Everybody,
but they're doing some innovative stuff.
Well, I suppose their focus was microsatellites, probably helping with new GPS systems, I imagine.
Tom, are you working on something and making noise? No, I don't think it's you.
It's hard to hear.
I can't tell. That's all right. Never mind.
Not me.
It's causing a voice delay with Gerald.
I better scoot-a-loodle off. I made a take off, and I'll try and finish off my mowing. But I wanted to stop in and say hello anyway, so I might try and
Yeah, thanks.
stop in next time when I've got the computer inside. It's very hard to see on my phone. It's all shadows and blurs, and hard to see what people are saying. But yeah, good to stop in, and I hope everybody's well and looking after yourselves. And I'll hopefully stop in when I get a chance
Yeah.
next time. So I'll bid you all
Okay,
goodbye.
Gerald. Thanks for
Okay.
dropping in. We appreciate it.
Okay,
Good night.
good night.
Or
Good night.
good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good night.
Take it
Good
easy,
night.
Gerald.
Good day, mate.
Jer.
Well, we had about a 5-second delay between some of those exchanges, but the delay kept changing. That was kind of weird. Can't really hold conversations too well like that. Charles, are you still within earshot? Guess not.
Apparently
I'm
not.
still here.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I just been muting
Just
my mic.
checking.
I was making a lot. Yeah, I've been making progress. I got the wings and 2 pieces and harvesting hardware. Yeah. I'll be back.
Okay. Getting nice and warm in Columbia this week. I'll be glad to get outside and work up a sweat tomorrow, maybe. So that'd be good for me. I need to get out and get some good exercise. Green beer. Is that a Heineken?
It's amazing to be
Maybe
able
it's
to
a
be on
fat.
here and do some work at the same time.
Yeah, we got a few busy people on here tonight.
Len, it's the way to
Mike,
go, man.
Charles,
Even if you're just farting around doing some like housekeeping chores or
Oh, yeah, at least
cleaning
you're
an
getting
engine or
stuff
something
done.
or sanding props.
Exactly. It's awesome.
Right.
I'm gonna do this every Monday and Friday now. I'll do it this way. It's so much better because I feel like I'm getting
created
something.
a monster.
Oh yeah.
I could probably build a plane in this time here. If I just spend like 2 or 3 weeks, I should have the bones done on it.
Exactly.
Thing is,
Why
if
not?
everybody works, nobody will be talking.
It's okay. I need to shut
Well,
up.
somebody will be talking.
kind of like right now. we got a lot of dead air tonight. I don't have any good material for you.
Well,
I
had
can
an
do show and tell again for
I had an exciting flight, and then I had to call it off after that.
What happened?
Well, I put the maiden flight after the repair, right? So immediately after takeoff, I could tell that like CG is much more forward than it was before because it was a completely different animal. And I said, well, let's see what can I learn out of it. So I'm doing some maneuvers over there, some, try to do some loops, squares, stuff like that. And the plane is yawing just violently. And when I'm doing my loops, my outboard, the inside loops, the inboard wing goes up, right? On the inside loop. Then when I do my outside loops, the inboard wings goes up again. So it's kind of was weird, right? So after I land, I'm
That is
looking at the
weird.
plane.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the plane, and my
Did you forget to
outboard
put the
flaps.
diploid?
No, the outboard flaps was loose. Was not doing anything. So because the inboard flaps was creating the lift, would lift the inboard wing like that. But the funny thing is, like, I could do like a overhead eights and vertical eights with it like that. It just plowed right through. It was kind of weird, but it stayed there. And the line tension, I was like, oh my god, it's trying to rip my hand off. I didn't like it. But I came home. I fixed it.
So what was the
everything is
problem?
there.
What was the problem with the flap? Why was it doing that?
I'm missing one of my 3/32 long screwdrivers, and I have a very limited access to those screws that lock the flaps on the wires in a control horn.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tighten them down properly. I thought they were tightened down properly, because from the outside you can see the flaps moving, they move together and stuff like that. But probably as soon as I took off, and it kind of like it broke loose, and I was running on one flap.
Oh crap!
I was like, man, this thing is.
I
just
bet
like
that did fly like crap.
It did fly like crap, but
yeah, I bet that was pretty bad.
But I did horizontal eights, squares with it, and still like that, like as crappy as it was, still pulled through somehow. But it was weird. Yes, you're right. And
yeah, you need to find your screwdriver.
Yeah, I call it a very inconclusive flight. I didn't learn anything out of it after that. But I got home, I figured out the problem and stuff like that. So it seems like I had a little bit more distance between the on the backside than I'm usually used to, and I had to add a tiny piece of 1/8 inch barrel of hardened steel, right? The polished rod.
Yeah.
It was actually a 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch wide, some like that, like a diameter 1/8 inch, 1/8 inch long, and I stuck it in between the two horns to work as a spacer in there, right? And the two screws that hold the flap horn in place, there was one to the left and one to the right of that piece, right? So kind of, a little bit of patching going on, but it's fine now. It's perfectly fine. No issues right now.
So you didn't take another plane to fly?
Yeah, the weather here is just really crappy. I mean, it's just like it's raining, it's windy, then stops. It's windy, then stops, and it's just like it's all over the place. It's not a weather that you want to have for, testing things out and just getting things in a balance in a tree.
I saw that weather system on the radar today. Yeah, I saw that system on the radar. It looked like it was pretty rough.
Yeah, today
it
I
just
was
barely missed us. It thundered a few times.
It was calm, it was rainy, it was windy, then calm again, then rainy. It's everywhere. Just crazy. I mean, you just can't do it. So, I'll be watching the weather for the next opportunity.
Has anybody tried these really light? I'm sorry. Has anybody tried these really light wheels with the plastic hubs and the
I've
foam
looked at them
wheels?
before, but I never have bought any. They're expensive, aren't they?
I don't think so. I've got 3 or 4 sets of them, but I
before.
haven't tried them on an airplane. I'm just wondering if anybody else tried them. They're very light. They're only like about, well, let's see. Let's see how light they are.
Then I have some of those on a remote control plane, but
Well,
not on
that's the
control
key.
line.
Me too.
Len, we use them on.
They only weigh point. They only weigh point.
We're using it.
They only weigh 0.2 of an ounce. The pair.
Yeah, we use them on the Revolutions on Marukini's plane. They're fine. They're good.
Okay. All right, I'll try them. Okay. Yeah, they're less than a quarter of an ounce for the pair. That's outstanding.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've seen them before. I picked them up and looked at them, but they
What
were
I
expensive, and I put them back.
what I did is I put a brass bushing in each one, so hopefully they'll work okay.
That's what I do with all of mine. Is that a 2.5-inch wheel?
Yeah, 2 1/4. A quarter.
No.
Len, the only problem with those wheels is that if you fly on grass, they like to sink into the grass.
Yeah.
The wider the wheel, the more footprint
Yeah,
you have
and
to it, the
Okay.
more it wants to glide.
make it.
They glide easier on top of the grass. So, but for paved surface and stuff like that,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay. So we're flying mostly on grass, so I think I'll go with something a little wider. Thanks. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll go with these ones instead. They're a little bit wider. They're about a 1/2 inch wide.
That looks like a better choice.
Yeah.
That's what I use, something
I'll
like
try
that.
those instead.
And I bush them with grass too. I like the shoulder bolts that don't have any threads up at the neck of the screw, but I sometimes have a hard time finding those.
McMaster car. Go to McMaster car. You
Yeah, I
find
know.
everything over
I
there.
want to find them at my own hardware store, but I'll have to order them.
Yeah.
Is that called a shoulder bolt? Is that what? I can't remember. But
Yeah,
No,
it's a
it's
shoulder bolt.
I think
yeah,
Oh yeah, the show. If you want to use a shoulder board, but those are pretty expensive. What you're probably talking about, you're talking about this like a socket head cap screw that's partially threaded.
that's right. I like to get those black oxide screws and cut them to size.
Yep.
Yeah, but if you spin those plastic wheels on the threaded bolts, it wears out the hubs real fast unless you bush them.
They are partially threaded. They're
Yeah.
not threaded
Yeah.
all the way through. They have a good surface that has no threads on it.
Yeah.
So the idea is use that surface for the wheel,
Yeah.
and the threads go inside, and whatever.
Yeah, well, in my younger days, I was not rich enough to buy what I could. And after about 30, 40 flights, the wheels were going like this.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to do is make some custom wheels for my plane with bearings inside, ball bearings or something like that, and something nice.
hmm
I never got to do that.
We got a guy on Cox Engine Forums that occasionally has a job somewhere that he's got the equipment to make wheels and stuff. Roddy, him, he sent me all kinds of different experimental stuff he's made at work, a lot, including half-A wheels that are actually pretty cool. And I've used a few of them. I'll have to rummage through my box next time. I'm going to need wheels pretty soon too, so might use some of his.
Do you know anybody that has a good, like a high performance high performance half-A motor blueprints? I would like to try to make one. That's why.
Oh, really? To build an engine?
Yep.
I don't know.
Bob Whitney. Bob Whitney's made a bunch of high performance reed valve 049s for racing.
Mhm.
Machined them himself.
Oh.
Is that our? That's not our Rob. That's Whitley, I think, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
that's
thinking about
Rob
Bob
Our,
Whiteley.
Whiteley.
yeah. Okay.
I would like to reverse engineer
Bob
a 4
Whitney's
or
on
something like that.
Stunthangar.
Mhm.
He's
Bob Whitney's on
you met him.
Stunthangar.
He was at Joe Knoll last year,
Mhm.
and you met him at Joe Knoll
right.
last year.
Oh, probably I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably did. Oh, that was just, man, that seems like forever ago. That was one where you went out into the circle with me, wasn't it? I tried to fly a part of a pattern. I flew 8 stunts, I think, or maybe it was 4. I can't remember, but
I'm glad I was there to catch you.
yeah. Yeah, I couldn't have done that without you out there with me. I had fun anyway. That was the last time I flew a plane.
Wow. Long time ago. You feel like you can fly now, Rusty?
No.
Mm.
I'd fall down.
It's still too early after your surgery, or just some other things?
My whole body's screwed up. Actually, my hips are fine. They don't hurt. It's like nothing was ever wrong with them, but I don't have any balance. I think it's my neck is causing a lot of the trouble. And I can't take my legs all the way out anymore either at the knees. I didn't know it until the other day and looked in the mirror and realized that I can't stand up straight.
Sorry to hear that, Rusty.
Hey, do you ever feel like you're a dumbass, but then after like 2 minutes, I'm going to share my dumbass moment here with you guys. So I've got these.
Yeah, we're not proud of all that fun.
Okay, so I've got these
Which
wheel
one?
extensions. Yeah, which one? I got these wheel extensions of the car. Okay, and I don't know if you can see this, but the axle is pinned. There's a hole in the axle here, and then these wheel extensions scoop over, and it gets your wheels farther out on the car. It's flatter and it doesn't tip over as much. Well, there's this little teeny tiny pin that goes through the wheel extension and through the hub of the axle. And I've been in here for 10 minutes trying to put this damn pin in. And then it just dawned on me. I'm like, I wonder if that thing's tapered and I'm putting it in the wrong way. Guess what? It's tapered. You can't
Sure
see
enough.
it. It's so damn. I mean, it's from one side to the other. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to spin that axle the other way and see if that pin will. And it dropped right in. So there's my dumbass moment. 10 minutes trying to figure something. But then it dawned on me. I'm like, I bet that's tapered. There you go. It didn't come with direction. And I was actually allowed to install these things, and there was no directions or nothing. But yeah, tapered pin, man. Instead of banging on it harder, maybe try flipping the hole around the other way. So,
Yeah. Wow.
if I hadn't been modeling all my life, I probably wouldn't have thought to do that. You imagine some teenager with a race car like this trying to put these things on without directions? They'd be in there banging with a hammer and Who knows what?
Yeah.
Who's banging away right
There
now?
you go.
Sounds like somebody's
That's
using a
Sam
sledgehammer.
taping it. Yeah. No, come here, Sam. Show them what you're doing. Bring it over here. You're making noise. You're making them mad. They want to know.
No, we want to know what we're up to.
Sam's fixing combat plane.
And
Okay.
basically
Get in there so they can see it.
making them, it's like just I swing them around on kite handles.
So they can
Okay.
see it. So some of Columbo's things that we got were
Really?
pretty
Check
junky,
out
not
on the wind.
but Sam, he put a boom on it. He's using packing tape for covering. He's wrapping it up with packing tape, and they still have a bell crank and an elevator that works and a push rod.
No push rod.
And then he puts them on like 10 feet of line, and he goes out and he swings them around in the yard, along with his.
Cool.
He's got his little sister. They're doing swinging plane combat. They go out there together and they swing them around and run into each other and bash them up. So that was Sam packing
Oh,
tape.
cool.
Awesome.
Well, how long are the lines? Like 10 feet long?
Like 8
What are the
feet,
lines like? 10 feet long, something like that?
about 8 feet, enough
Yeah.
that you can hold the handle back.
That's fine.
You can kind of lift the lines in the plane, and once you start swinging it, you can just swing around and go. He's using
Yeah.
his imagination,
That sounds like big fun.
recycling airplanes.
Hey, man, Sam's been swinging. Sam's been swinging even imaginary planes ever since he was old enough to come to the contest with you. Everywhere he ever went, he always had something on the end of a string swinging it around. Sometimes it was a piece of garbage
know.
out of the combat trash.
Yeah, it's a good final end to stuff that we don't want to repair. Like if it's beyond repair, it's not beyond repair for Samuel. He will
Yeah.
duct tape that thing, glue it, packing tape the hell out of it. If he can get it looking like an airplane again, it's going on
That's good enough.
kite string, and he's going to swing it around until it's completely destroyed.
That's cool.
Sounds like a
I
plan.
did the same thing when I was a kid, man. My
I
dad
did
used to
too.
take me to RC swap meets and stuff when I was 5 or 6, 7 years old. And, you know, some guy would always take pity on me, a up junior ringmaster or a beat up junior flight streak that he had like $2 on or something, you know. All the silk had holes in it and it was falling apart and broken. They'd give it to me. I'd go home and do the same thing. I'd tape up the wing, tape a battery to the nose, tie it on a string, swing it around in the yard, you know.
Yeah.
Good stuff. It's a way to use your imagination, I think.
You know what I used to do? I was getting bored of those paper airplanes, right? So I would take a piece of paper
The sailor.
and I would roll it into a fuselage. And after that, I would put a nose to it, like make a cone out of paper, and would tape the cone to the nose and the cone to the back, and I'll make a pretty realistic looking plane out of it, and I'll throw it out the window after. Just let it fly. I used to live in a 10-story apartment building. There's 10 stories plus the lower level, right? And we lived at the 9th floor, so they had quite a trip down sometimes. My imagination as a kid, I guess.
I had
I
gotten some
remember
video.
when I was in
Yeah.
when I was in elementary school. I must have made reams of paperwork, paper planes out there, having contests to see who could make planes fly the farthest at recess every day, like in the 5th grade, 6th grade, I guess is when I started doing that.
We went and visited our
Probably
cousin.
earlier than that. I've got pictures of me way back. Was just old enough to walk with planes.
we went to cousins on Saturday in Michigan, and I had stopped at the hobby shop in Westland and picked up some of the Jetfire, just the balsa rubber band planes, you know, the Gillows ones, ready to go. They were like $5 or whatever. Well, they would not fly worth a crap because the wings were all twisted and warped and stuff. They were just all crashing all the time. But my cousin busted out some fireworks. They had bottle rockets and skyrockets. And Sam asked, "Can we tape a bottle rocket to this plane?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." Well, not enough power. It just kind of didn't do much. But they had some bigger, like the next size up from bottle rockets, skyrockets, which are, you know, the motors are, they look like a C-size rocket engine, those kind of fireworks. So we figured we got this thing taped in the right place on the airplane. We probably had 4 or 5 really bad ones where it just went, you know, and spun out and fell on the ground. But we had 2 flights where that damn thing went straight up in the air and flew just as true as could be. And it probably went, what do you think, 75 yards with that engine on there? It probably flew 70, and I mean level flight, just climbing, and then the engine quit, and we had the balance just right where we had the rocket motor or the firework on there, and then it would just glide right in. We had 2 really successful flights, and about 6 bad ones. Kind of did all this, but 2 of them went shoo and flew just like they should. So when Hobby Lobby opens back up, I'm gonna go get some more of those balsa gliders to go with all these fireworks we got, because we got more skyrockets now, and we'll be able to do some more. Sam was just trying to put bottle rockets on paper. He was making all kinds of paper airplanes and putting bottle rockets on them. And then the Gillows Jetfire glider was the best. That one, that worked out. We're going to do some more fine tuning on that. I might even build just a firework on it and try to actually make one fly, get 100 feet in the air and fly around. It's the same dumb stuff I did when I was a kid. You know, firecrackers on paper.
What a great idea.
Airplane, all that stuff. It's just being a kid, man, and having fun. And as long as he doesn't burn his face off, I'm okay with giving him. I'll give him a big giant bag of fireworks as long as he's going to be safe with. If he's going to put fireworks on airplanes, I'll buy him a roll of duct tape and let him go figure that stuff out. As long as he's safe and he doesn't burn his hands or burn his.
Al was pretty young when I gave him his fireworks safety lesson and showed him what and what not to do, and pointed to his friends and showed him what not to do and explained, you know, he could see what would happen to those kids. Some of them lighting mortars with their face over the tube, and I trained him up right, and then enough trusted him pretty much to go play with fireworks, and he was able to, and of course, he became the safety Nazi too. He does the same thing today at work, but he's a safety Nazi. So I'm proud I was able to instill that into him really well.
Last year was the first year Sam's been doing sparklers since he was a kid. Last year turned 10. I was like, okay, here's how firecrackers work. Here's how smoke bombs work. Here's how Roman candles work. And after his safety lesson, I gave him his own little bag of stuff and just kind of turned him loose in the backyard. And he's doing good. So he hasn't like tried to tie a firecracker to the cat's tail or shoot bottle rockets at the dog or anything like that. So as long as he's still responsible, he'll get more and he'll get better stuff. But you know, he's not shooting them at his sister or throwing a firecracker or anything. As long as he's responsible, he'll continue to get bigger and better stuff. But I think the airplane, the paper airplane and the balsa plane firework thing that's just good fun, man, all the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been in a few fireworks wars when I was old enough to know better, and had one close call that put a stop to it all. So I'm glad I quit doing that.
What I did.
All right, I'm back to the tape. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gary.
What I did when way back there, I'd make this thing with skis on it, and then put the little motor on it, and start it up, and then take it outside and let it go in the snow or ice or something. Just to do something with it. Try all kinds of stuff.
Well, Ken Stricker, hadn't seen him in here lately. He makes these little swamp buggies. That's what he calls them. That's what's written on some of them. Little flat bottom hydroplane boats that are pretty cool, and he puts those on the water and shoots them and runs them around. I think they got RC guidance on them. I don't remember exactly now. I'd have to go back and look at one, but he used to show pictures of those on Cox Engine forums. But you could propel those with.
I built one something similar with the I did one with an 020 with a Pee Wee 020. I made a little sled out of cardboard with like a power pod up on top, and then like a little cardboard sled. And I would go out in Detroit in January and try to start that thing. Boy, that was fun, trying to start a Cox motor in Detroit in January. But I get that running, and we had so much snow in Detroit on the side streets, you'd have like two ruts where the tires went. The center would be built up, and then the outside would be, but you'd have basically two big tire ruts. And that little Cox 020 sled, I could put it in that rut down the middle of the street, and it would run down the whole block if I could get it started. If I could get it, because the snow was like this from the tire ruts, and it was iced on the bottom. And I'd get that thing fired up and just let it go, and it would just kind of ride in the rut and go down the street.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that. That's pretty cool.
Back in the 60s, I used to get Popular Mechanics, and in one of those magazines, they had a hydrofoil, a model hydrofoil that you had metal tabs that you could make up the hydrofoil and bend them. And it just had like 3 foils that it would sit on, and then had an 049 and with a propeller in the air, and then you just set it in the water and it would go across the water. That actually worked pretty good. It was just kind of free running. It wasn't controlled by anything, but
yeah,
that sounds pretty cool.
I think I remember that one.
And sit in a John boat and let it go around you, you'd probably fall in the water doing that.
we never had any of them tethered. There was one we made. I was a little bit older, but those styrofoam surfboards that you use when you're swimming. My neighbor had one. My neighbor had one, and someone jumped in the lake and broke it in half. So it was only about maybe just the front of it was 2 feet long, and we put a 29 0.29 engine with an air propeller on the back of that, so it was like a little airboat, and just send that out in the water and then chase it down after it quit. There were several times where it would go out into the lake, and the waves or the wind or something would turn it, and then it would come back towards shore. We'd all the neighbor kids would run down the shore, try and get to it before it hit the shore.
Or you could take a fishing rod with a treble hook out there and cast for it. Put a heavy sinker and a treble hook and see if you could hook it.
I think we had a rowboat, and all the neighbors had like a little rowboat. We could go get it if we needed to.
Yeah, we tried to build a rowboat one
That's
time out of
awesome.
some plywood. That didn't work out well. We took it down to this fish, put it in there, paddled out in the middle of the fish, sank. And I mean, completely sank. And the was standing in the back hollering, "Yeah, get out of that
But
fun."
that's the kind of fun stuff.
They called it a lake, but
That's the kind of fun stuff you do as a kid in the 60s and 70s. Kids today don't know what they're missing, not being able to play with nitro motors, man, and the things you could strap them to and have a good time
Yeah.
with.
I have never
That's all
put
I'm
one
saying.
on a rack. I got to do that someday. Put that on my bucket list. Put motor on a rag.
I did that about 3 weeks ago. I think I told you about that. Out of sheer out of sheer boredom during the lockdown, I rubber banded a shop
I
wreck
got
on
a
Black
couple
Widow, and I let it go.
I got a couple of TD410s out to do it too, but no, I probably don't want to put a $300 engine on it though. What is this I got over here? This is that's not a P2E.
Hey,
This is a
Jeff.
P2E.
What's up, Mike?
Jeff, tell us about your shop rag experience you had a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I was just bored.
So what did you do?
Tied a shop rag to the back of a Black Widow, fired it up and sent it up in the air. About an hour and a half later, my
shop
neighbor,
rag?
Yeah, shop rag.
My neighbor brought it back. He says, "You're about the only one I know that plays with these toys. Is this for
Ever
real?"
seen that?
No, I don't. I've never seen that.
It went way up there.
Wow.
You take an 049 and put it on a wooden backplate.
Right.
I just
to the
rubber
back of
banded a
the,
rag
just
in
a
the
shop
tank.
rag, and you start it up and you let it go straight in the air with the rag as the tail, and it just goes.
It just goes straight up like a helicopter, does it?
And if you put a 5.4 on it, they go way.
Oh, sometimes they go sideways, which is fun.
Wow. I've never heard of that.
When I was
That's
a kid,
wild.
All right,
I had a Cox PT-19, and I flew it, and it came down, and the engine, it's held in with rubber bands. The rubber bands went flying, and I didn't have spare rubber bands with me, so we fired that motor up and let it go with the firewall and landing gear like that, and it goes straight up for a while. Comes flying down. So a similar thing.
Huh.
The wheels kind of keep it from spinning.
That's cool.
Hold on, Lynn. I found a video.
I was just looking at this. Okay. I was just looking at
All
this.
right, okay, hang on. I'm gonna share. Let me do share. Now this one looks like it's an 020 or an 010. But let's see here.
Let's see it.
Here we go. I'm gonna play and volume.
0.010. It is the smallest, or was the smallest, production gasoline engine in the world. It turns 27,000 RPM right out of the box. on a 3-inch by 1.25 propeller. This thing up
I
and
hadn't watched this guy.
I'm going to
Yeah,
skip
with
ahead
my
because
chains, both regular and gold plated.
here we go.
Yeah.
So you can do the same thing with an 049, Len.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Okay, spring.
27,000 RPM.
Hey, here we go.
He's scary.
Here it goes.
A ways. Looks like a bird. It's gone.
That thing went a long time.
Wow.
So you get the idea, Len, right?
Wild.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
My dad used to do
Yeah.
that. My dad used to do that at the RC field with a medallion or a Black Widow or whatever, man.
I've never seen that before. That's wild.
Don't put
Yeah,
too much
big buzzard might fly down and snatch it.
I got to take my computer back up.
Everybody's got it. Everyone's got a 049. We should have a fly off and everybody grab one and get a rag and then you time your flight and then we'll see who has the longest flight.
I know the first time I did that, I ended up taking out the tube lights in my dad's garage.
Uh-oh.
That was interesting.
Yeah. Just doing stuff with 049s when you were a kid, man. We all did wacky, goofy stuff with them or tried to anyway. And kids today just won't experience that. They won't ever the opportunity. You know, Sam will once he decides he wants to starting engines, which he should be starting 049s by now at 11 years old, but he's a little gun shy.
That's right.
You know, of the prop and stuff like that. Because he watched Road Axe 2 years ago, so he's a little spooked by it. But yeah, you know, all of us were like 10 years old starting Cox 049s, right? And slap, ow, cutting your finger and not chopping it off, but we've all been whacked.
That's all
by
the
them,
fun. It's part of the fun.
I'm sure. And you didn't think anything about it. It was part of learning how to fly model airplanes.
I have a bunch of scars on top of my
Part of half A every
index
day. You
finger.
cut yourself.
I got smacked so many times it's not even funny.
Yeah.
And I have the scars to prove it.
I hurt my fingers just from. I have my scars on my fingers from just beating on half A's, trying to start them the last couple of years for Naomi. Like she'll pile it into the mud, and I clean it all out quickly, and then beat on it some more to get it going. You have to slap them to make them go because they don't want to start once they've been in the mud. But they go. They still run.
Yep.
There we go.
I'm going to refresh.
So.
Yeah, me.
Is my sanding making a lot of noise, or are you guys okay?
Nope, you're good. It's pretty quiet.
Okay.
Are you sanding helium right now?
I'm sanding aluminum.
No, helium, because your airplanes are so light. They must be filled with helium.
Of course, yeah. We trap it inside and fill them with helium and all of the stuff. Actually, after the repair, I think I'm a couple of ounces lighter from what I'm used to be. So I'm back in a 58 or so, I think, somewhere over there. I never weighed.
Now, will your line length change at all based on your new weight and your
No, I'm just gonna leave them.
how it handles?
It all depends. I'm gonna have to see what's going on, you know. I shortened up the lines originally because it was not tight enough. So I said, nah, let's shorten up the lines because it's too light. So that's what we did. It's gonna be a new setup right now because the things change. CG is in a different position, so I don't know what I'm gonna have.
So basically a whole new airplane.
Yeah, it's pretty much a whole new airplane. But as I said, the first flight was very inconclusive, so I don't know what I'm gonna have ultimately. From what it looks like,
It'll take a while.
Yeah, I might have to leave the battery where it was before. So, in other words, I don't have to push it further forward than it needs to be, than it is right now, actually. So I think I'm fine over there. And even without it, I think I'm about 3/8 of an inch or to even half an inch forward on a CG, which you feel it immediately. So in the way it handles.
Exactly.
Yeah. So to me, what I like to achieve in tracking, I wanted to track with ease, but I want to corner fast. So there's a point where your CG is too far forward and you have too much tracking, and then it doesn't want to turn, or too far back where it turns very fast, and it's kind of tracking, right? So I think that's where I was before. You was tracking right on the edge, okay? I think if I had a little bit more forward CG, it would track a lot better and still maintain the corner. I just still have to fly it.
Trying to find that happy medium.
Yep. I have to try new things.
Trying to find that happy medium is hard because you want it to track beautifully, but you want it to turn hard, but not so that it overturns all the time. Yeah, I get it.
I mean, the good part of it is that we don't have problems with turning the plane. The plane is turning fast as is. I mean, it's faster than we can handle. So that's not an issue over there. We have room to grow into it, right? But we have to figure out. Yeah, I mean, in nice weather, it tracks nicely, but in like maybe a little bit bumpy weather and stuff like that, and turbulence, it was, you had to work at holding it level, flying level and nice. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. You can see just ever so just slightly, just going drifting upwards or drifting down. Just a little drifting.
Yeah,
right?
I think with most planes, you're going to get that in bumpy weather anyway. A little bit, not much, but a little bit.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'm worrying too much about it. Yeah. I don't know. I'll just have to figure it out. But anyway, the backside of the fuselage is 2 ounces lighter to begin with. So with a light tail is gonna turn even faster than it was before. So I can afford a more forward CG now, and still maintain the cornering ability with maybe a little bit better tracking now, and a lighter plane. So I think it's a pretty much win-win-win situation, because that's why I decided to not repair the old fuselage. I just wanted to have all these advantages from the new one. I mean, I was dragging my prop from the grass in takeoff, and I didn't like that, so I need to get more ground clearance. And the new fuselage had the landing gear block put in the right position. I want to have a lighter tail, so I moved the CG forward, which I have it from the new fuselage. I also wanted to be able to move my battery back and forth and slide it better, and maybe past the forward bulkhead in a nose if I really have to, if I really need it. So
Yeah.
that's why I put the new nose. So all in all, I was looking at all this stuff, and I said, man, it looks like it's almost screaming for a new fuselage. And since fuselage
Yeah.
took most of the brunt of the hit, the brunt of the damage, and I said, you know what? Yeah, let's put the wings and stabilizer on the new fuselage and nose and run with it. And so far, the first flight, I put a new prop on it, and I put just even though it was inconclusive, those pulling on the lines real hard. So
Yeah, you
no,
need some time. You need some flights.
yeah, I just need some flights on it. Yeah, but you
I
have.
find I spend all my time struggling trying to get that perfect feel and that perfect turn so that you get the airplane to do what you want it to do, track the way you want it to track. It's a constant thing. It's what we do and constantly fight for better performance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it should be a pretty clear place. I mean, as if you fly, you just fly the plane, right? And
Yeah. Oh, for
just
sure.
get the feel for it. Okay, is it hunting? Yes or no? If it's hunting, then you suggest too far back, right? And then you can just keep pushing it forward just a little bit at a time, and
until you get it.
It starts to track, right? Now, probably this is the point where it's going to have the maximum corner, and but still the tracking is just maybe right on the edge, right? Now, if you want to have a better, what Wendy says, the lock, I mean, just turn, stop,
like lock it in, yeah.
Lock it in. That's now you're looking for the lock at that point. Right now you're on the edge, and
that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm always looking for, is to get it so that when I turn, it locks every time, or most of the time.
Yeah,
and
I think
it's very elusive.
Yeah, mine was locking very well, but wasn't tracking very well in like a full lap. To put a full lap and just nail it, right? Other than that, it was fine.
Okay.
But I just want just a little bit more forward CG just to nail that part of it. That's what I was missing.
Yes, but when you're flying, in other words, so when you're flying level, you don't have to concentrate so hard.
Yeah, I want to track just a little bit better in level flight. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
But other than that, man, it's just that thing can fly, can turn, it has very little drag on it because the control surfaces, I don't think I'm moving my control surfaces more than 10. If I say 15 degrees is maximum in a corner. That's in a corner. So it has very little drag to it. It's lightweight. It accelerates very fast from corner to corner. Well, it's just nice. It's just very pleasant. I mean, easy to, unless you fly with the wind in your face and it starts to increase.
I bet now that you've flown electric for quite a while, you would struggle if you tried to fly IC again because it would feel weird.
I'm the type of guy, I can pick up any plane from the field and get a feel for it, and then I know what it can do, and fly around these problems.
Okay.
Quite easily, I mean, think about it. Like without the outboard flaps, I was still doing horizontal aids, vertical aids, hourglass, and overhead aids, and squares.
Yeah.
So I kind of figured it out as I was just flying around the problem. I knew that wasn't capable of doing what it was doing before. I didn't know why was he doing that, but maybe I should have quit earlier. But I said, man, I want to learn as much as possible from this one flight. And only after I landed, I learned that I didn't learn anything.
Okay, Tryon, I'm going to put you on a Nelson 36 fast combat plane, and in 2 flights, you're going to have it figured out, right?
Bring it on, baby.
It'll be fun.
Let's do it. Somebody put me on Nelson.
It'll put a smile on your face.
Is it raining there, Rusty?
Let's do it.
It'll put a smile on your face.
Let's do it, man. I'm not sure if I'll be able to fly it and like you fly a combat plane to look at the other plane while you're doing this. I have to have my eyes on the plane itself, but I think it's going to be an exciting time. I did do that before. You know what? Somebody gave me like
I
a
can't-
40, I think it was a 40 size Nelson fast combat. Boy, that thing could move. I was like, holy shit. I didn't crash, but it was fun. It was exciting.
The last time I'm flying an FAI, I crashed.
What's Tom holding up there?
It's something I'm working on. This is the tail of my navigator, and I'm just sticking the water rudder through the tube so I can add the air rudder on and have it connected.
Is it raining there, Rusty?
How do you seal the water rudder or the push rod that goes to the water rudder?
There's a tube. The tube goes really high up in the fuselage, and then you just fill that with Vaseline when you put
Can't
the
hear
rod.
you. Can't hear you, Rusty. No.
So it's kind of like on a boat that on a propeller shaft seal, right?
Right.
Yeah, because they pack it with they pack the thing with Vaseline or something like that, so the water doesn't go through it.
Right.
Okay.
Rusty's mic's off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rusty's gone in the tank. I think he knows it. No. Can't hear you.
What time is it? Oh my God, I'm crazy. 12:43.
Not yet. You're getting there, don't worry. Just like the rest of us.
Getting there, being crazy, yeah. It's 1 o'clock almost.
Oh yeah.
Here.
Yeah,
Me
it's
and
almost
Rusty,
time to go to bed.
Almost time to go to bed. Are you nuts?
I don't have to work till 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. I'm okay. I'm going to get up in the morning and play toy airplanes till it's time to go to work.
Yep.
Set up some landing gear and some other stuff.
Well, I think
my battery was running out on the computer.
I see. Oh, you need to.
So I had to come back upstairs. Otherwise, I would have had to be monkeying around with batteries down there. I didn't want to bother.
Okay, I'm back. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
What?
You're good, Rusty.
Right, we got one mother of a thunderstorm moving into my neighborhood. The power blinked just a minute ago. So if I cease to exist, that's what happens.
John Miller's
hope
back.
there's no tornado. Hey, Tom, speak.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
Say something. John,
Hello,
say
John.
something.
Can you hear us? He's got his earphones on.
Talk, John.
I need to get me a Sharpie and a whole stack of little poster boards so I can talk to people with flashcards.
Oh.
So, Len, when are you going to build that fuel tank? Because now that if you can be in a garage, then we can do it. Maybe make one of these chit chats here as a lesson.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I would think probably not till next year though, because I got a lot of projects on the go here.
Okay.
Phil Bailey's got a question for Tryon. Tryon, you got a question on YouTube. Phil Bailey asks, when you lightened the fuselage 2 ounces, did you not already moved the CG forward?
Yes,
So
it
you
did.
then moved the battery forward. You just went nose heavy. Yeah.
Yes, he did move the CG forward. That's for sure. Yes, he did. But as I said, that flight was very inconclusive, so I don't know what I have. You know, I was like, why doesn't it turn anymore? Like, what's going on here? I said, it's just weird. So then after I landed, I realized that I'm flying with only the inboard flaps, and then I said, oh, okay, so I don't know what I have. I might end up with the CG. Right now, the CG is a little bit forward, so I can definitely feel it in a pull, right? The line tension is much bigger, much greater than what I had before. That's for sure. So I don't know. Yeah, it's it's so easy to customize this plane, and that's like in everything. Just customize the throws that you want to have on the elevator or the flaps. You want more flaps, you get more flaps. You want more elevator, you get more elevator. They're independent of each other, right? And you can customize the CG wherever you want to have it. Right now, I can. In a past, I couldn't push it any further forward than I had it, and it was right on the edge. Lighter fuselage already moved it forward. I can push the battery forward on top of that. But I have to fly test it and see what I really like, because I don't like a plane that, it was effortless in the air. To turn a plane was effortless. You didn't have to ask it or just anything like that. So I really like that part of it. But I just want a little bit better tracking in level flight. That's all. Just a little bit better. Just a touch more there. So I think the lighter fuselage alone could probably accomplish that. Probably did.
Can you guys hear me?
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I was just
Hello.
writing a
There
note
you go.
for you. Now we can. Yeah, I was about to write this note. It says,
Okay.
John, what's wrong with your sound? But
I had problems here. I had to I could talk. I can hear you. Yeah. I couldn't hear you before.
yeah, Tom's note was fancier than mine. But yeah, now we can hear you. Good.
Well, it's good to finally be in here.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the video I put in there?
I copied the link and never watched it. No, I forgot. It's in my watch later list too. When I go visit my watch later list, I'll see it.
I thought it was pretty nice flight overall. Pretty good stunt pattern.
Yeah, I'll try to remember to look at it when we close up tonight, and take a look. Yeah, I'm fully intended to watch it. Just
Is it in the
forgot.
chat or where is it?
Yeah, it was good.
Is it in the chat or where's the link?
It's I can put it in the chat if you want it. I can grab it.
Yeah. Let me open my notepad and make sure I still got it. I'm pretty sure I got it though. Yeah, there it is.
Copy. Here you go. I'll just dump it here in the chat if you want to use it. Click on it, whatever. What?
Yeah, I just saw the video of you hitting the flight box. So you have a
That
new video?
one, yeah, that one.
Oh, that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
I saw it. That was good.
Yeah. It's just so easy to put it through the air and just do it. The problem is that the wind was in my face all the time, and it was increasing.
Yeah.
So it was increasing so much that by the time I got to the vertical 8, on the second one, I lost it twice. And I said, nah. and was not only towards me, it was coming from basically the wind was behind me and towards my left at that moment. So as soon as you do the top side of the vertical 8, when the wind is behind the plane, and it just gets nasty real fast. So I don't have problems flying in a wind. I mean, you saw me flying in the nets, right, Charles? And it was what?
Yeah, you find the wind fine.
Yeah, and I was real flying it slow on top of it. So that's and no issues, right? But if you put the maneuvers in the right place, it's no issue. But if you start to do it with the wind in your face, blowing, not even if towards you, blows from the almost from your right to left, and right front to left back, kind of in that direction. So it was the direction of.
So Cheyenne, when I first saw the videos before, I knew you was flying upwind. And I was looking at it going, I've seen him fly better than that. I was wondering what was going on. And then when I learned that you was flying the whole time upwind, I was like, oh, okay, now I understand. He's trying to keep in the camera.
Exactly. You can't move the damn camera.
I know. That was pretty amazing. You fly upwind like that.
But even like that, even with that, I mean, it was still fine. I mean, now was interesting, right? Flying it like that, kind of on the edge a little bit, but still,
it is on the edge.
Yeah. So, it's.
We have a guy who was 86 flying with us, and he used to fly upwind all the time, and there'd be like 3 or 4 of us in the peanut gallery, and we would yell at him, "You're flying upwind," and he would make a correction, But it was amazing. He would do all these loops and figure eights all upwind.
Yep. Yeah, but my problem was that I'm set up for putting the maneuvers in the right place, and with that, I mean I don't care about the wind over there or the speed of the plane. I can fly slow as I do that, right? But now if you go upwind and the wind is increasing, things can get out of hand pretty fast. And they did, actually.
That's a problem. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done maneuvers upwind. not deliberate.
Yeah.
I mean, wind might have shifted on me. I had the judges. Didn't know the judges would move, so I've done the maneuvers upwind, but that's only because the wind shifted.
Yeah. And what was kind of interesting to me is that when I'm flying, and I think I'm flying high, I mean my 4 feet or maybe 5, 6 feet, whatever, I think I'm flying kind of high, but when I look at the camera, they look really low. I'm going like, well, okay.
Sometimes the camera has a different perspective depending upon where I've placed my camera and how I placed it. Like I shoot a lot of my videos with a little 12-inch tripod. So my camera is pointing up, and so when the plane's coming by, it gives the illusion that I have high bottoms.
Yeah.
And then of course the opposite could be the effect if you're filming from a higher elevation. Coming down on your pattern, then it looks obscured that way too.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, Tryon. When you do your square eight, do you have a cadence that you count?
On the first 3, yes, but not the 4th one.
Okay.
I have an intersection point for the 4th one.
What is your cadence? What does it sound like?
I just go like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm looking at my intersection point, and then 1 again as I climb on the intersection point. You can't do cadence on the 4th square because the tops are shorter than the bottoms. But for the first 3 legs, you can do it. But the 4th leg, the horizontal one on the bottom, you have to look at your intersection point and climb again over there. And you restart. because if you do your cadence, you're moving your intersection point all the time. So because you start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the second one is you start here. It's just like
Yeah,
1,
it's different.
2,
Yeah, it's
3,
different.
4, 1. You see it? 2, 3, 4,
Right.
and then 1. You're again here, right? So you kind of intersection goes dancing a little
Right.
this way, that way, this way, that way. Kind of like that. And
You're
it's
trying
just
not to dance the intersection.
yeah. So that's why I'm doing the first 3. I'm gonna like just 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking for my intersection, and I get 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm coming inverted, and I'm looking at my intersection. I get climb 1, 2, 3. That's what I do. It works for me.
That makes sense.
You probably
You know,
just
I normally don't have a cadence in that I speak verbally, but I'm considering to do that. That's why I was curious if you use a cadence, if you speak out a cadence, because I kind of in my head have a cadence. I used to play the clarinet. I played the clarinet from the 3rd grade.
You should have no trouble doing it then. That's good.
Yeah. I think that's a plus.
But I'm considering. I'm considering speaking out loud a cadence.
That's a very good idea. I think it's a very good idea, Charles.
Hey, amigos, it's time for me to hit the sack. I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. As usual, y'all can stay on.
right.
But for all you dudes out in YouTube land, I appreciate y'all. Pretty good crowd out there tonight. See, I hadn't even checked since we lost the first half hour of the show. And we got 7 people watching right now. But anyway, thank y'all for coming. And we'll see you back on Friday. And as far as you guys in the audio video section, y'all welcome to hang out as long as you want. And try to have a good week. I hope outdoor activity. What kind of beers
Rusty's
that you
killing
got
the
there?
YouTube feed. Rusty's killing the YouTube feed. Means we can have our late night grown up.
Y'all do anything you want now. Hang on, okay.
Now we can get loud and rude.
Let me
Who let the dogs out?
me click the handle.
Anybody who knows.
Night, dude.
Anyone who knows
Good night.
that once
Night,
the
Rusty.
YouTube feed gets killed, it gets better.
No, Rusty.
Goodbye,
All right.
Rusty.
Good night, Rusty.
Good night, Rusty.
Good night, folks. Let's see. Yeah,
Good night, Rusty.
still trying it. Good night.
See you Friday.
Yes, you will.
Rusty there, but we've had some good off YouTube chats here before.
And we've had some bad ones
Yeah, I wish I
too.
could stay up later.
Oh, not that
I
bad.
can't get it to
Everybody's
break.
everyone's still friends. So it's okay.
I can't
we
get
all
it.
have our good.
It could break the damn stream.
Well, everyone be careful. We're still live.